Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will show you how to fill up the BIR Form 1601C or the monthly remittance of the withholding tax on compensation. So I have already showed to you in our previous video last year on how to file 1601C, but since last November 2020, there was already a new BIR form in which that is the BIR Form 1601-C. Prior to that, there was no dash. So there are items which were not presented, which are not shown in the previous form and now are already in the BR Form 1601-C. So if you're ready, let's start. Okay, so before you fill up the BR Form 1601C, it is necessary that you have, of course, your own working paper. Working paper is your guide or your computation or your payroll on how you computed your withholding taxes on their compensation. So, para saan ba yung 1601C-C na form? So, 1601-C is actually a BR form to be used when remitting your taxes withheld on your employees. So if you are an employer, if you have employees which are subject to withholding taxes, you need to use the BIR Form 1601-C to remit or when remitting their taxes. Okay, so kailan ba siya dapat gamitin? Actually, even if your employees are not subject to withholding tax because maybe their salaries per month does not exceed the 20,833 limit, that is the minimum compensation level. So you would still have to declare to file your 1601-C. However, again, for those employers who have employees earning compensation with a compensation level of 20,833 per month or more, then there would be corresponding withholding taxes on their compensation. But again, as the employer, you have the responsibility to file their taxes, the withholding taxes you have withheld on their compensation. So in this Excel, as you see in your screen, I have here several numbers of employees in our company. We have I think there are 105 of them, and there are a few of them who don't have yet TIN or the taxpayer's identification number, but that's okay. I will still include them when filing this form because anyway, before the end of the year this year, I will require them to submit their TIN. Okay, so this is actually for the month of January, and that is just for illustration purposes. And then if you notice, I have here MWE or not. So I prefer to have this MWE or not column because in our formula later, I will use that whether they will be subject to tax or not. So they have their basic pay, that is the fixed amount, and then we have overtime pay, holiday pay, night shift differential, hazard pay. So by the way, these four items are non-taxable if the employees are MWE, but if the employees are not MWE, then of course these four items, the overtime pay, holiday pay, night shift differential, hazard pay, will be subject to tax, subject to withholding tax. Also, I have here absences in undertime. I prefer to have this column because the basic pay is the fixed amount, and there are instances when employees will be absent, so I will just put a negative amount there. For example, this employee is absent, I will just put, let's say, 200, negative 200. So that's a deduction on his total compensation for that month. Anyway, I will erase this. Okay, miscalculation adjustments. This is for the prior months, but in this case, I don't have any. Incentives are also taxable. And of course, 13th month pay and other or de minimis benefits, I also included here because 13th month pay, although they are non-taxable, but still I need to declare that. So under item 17, if you notice, in my working paper, I put items because this the items in the BIR form 1601-C. So I also have here SS contribution, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig. And as you notice in the formula I have here, I have the MWE because I want them to be excluded from the taxable portion. So yeah, that's why. So these people here with amounts are all MWEs, okay? And then these are also the holiday pay, overtime, night shift, and hazard pay for all the MWEs. And of course, the total mandatory contributions, these are for non-MWEs. So basically, this Excel template that I have already or automatically computes the withholding taxes. So let me show you. In this case, there are 105 employees, but most of them are MWEs, or if not, their monthly salaries do not exceed the 20,833. For example, in this case, like this, we have an employee which is earning 30,000 a month, then he should be subject to withholding tax. Another, we have 19,461. Again, though that is too big, but it doesn't reach the minimum compensation level, which is the 20,833 per month. So that is why. Okay, so I have here the withholding tax. Okay, so this is the withholding tax column. Okay, and I will have, so we have here 1,543.40. Okay, so now I will enter these figures in the BIR form 1601-C. Okay, so I will just have to freeze this. Okay, here. So now, and let's go to the total because that is what I want. Okay, now let's open the BIR form, BIR form package 7.6.1. So I will have to enter the TIN 9923182. This is my employer's TIN. So we have here Hiram Distribution, that is my company. And then now we will select the 1601. Now there are two forms here, 1601C or 1601C version 2018. Okay, so this is the second one is what we're going to use because that is the 1601-C. Okay, so here I will click fill up. Okay, and it will automatically fill up the form. So as you notice, this is the 1601-C. The prior form to this, the previous format or form is 1601C without the dash. Okay, so there are items which are not shown in the previous form, but in this form it is more detailed. It is really friendly user, it is easy to fill up, and even non-accountants can fill up this form. So I will just choose January since we will be filing the month of January. As you see, it's January. Okay, so this is not an amended, when you say amended return, this is the second time that you would be filing the same return for the same month because probably you have committed a mistake or error in the previous form that you have filed. So I will just click no because this is not an amended return. And there is, for question number 3, any taxes withheld? Yes, I have taxes withheld, and I will click yes. And then I will just leave this item 4, number of sheets attached, 0. Okay, now let's go to item 11, category withholding agent. So our company is not a government company, so I will just click private company. Okay, so now let's go to item 14, and that is total amount of compensation. So now let's refer to our working paper, to the schedule that I have shown you a while ago. So that is total compensation. When I say total compensation, this means this is the sum, the total of the basic pay, the overtime pay, the holiday pay, night shift differential, hazard pay. If there are any absences, you need to deduct that, provided that your basic pay is a fixed amount. But if your basic pay is already net of the absences, then you don't have to deduct the absences in this column. And of course, if you have miscalculation adjustments in the prior months, so you have to add or deduct that. And if you have incentives in other remuneration, and if you have the minimis, when I say total compensations, this is the total amount paid to employees, whether taxable or non-taxable. So it's a catch-all. It includes everything, okay? So I will enter that amount in our form. So we have 1,155,755.36. Okay. And next we have item less non-taxable exempt compensation. So these are the amounts to be deducted from the total amount of compensation. So first, item 15. The item 15 is the statutory minimum wage for minimum wage earners. Okay, so here we have item 15, and that is 350,557.23. So 350,557.23. So if you are actually making your own template like this one, it is especially necessary for you to indicate these items where in the form it should be entered, so that you will not get confused later on when you file your withholding tax, your 1601C. Okay, so we also have here holiday pay, overtime pay, night shift differential, hazard pay. Again, it is for MWEs only. So if you have given your MWEs these 4 items, okay, as I have said, these 4 items, then it will also be deducted because it is basically, it's not part of their basic compensation. So we have here, if you notice, I indicate there MWE item 16, so that is 11,218.84. So 11,218.84. Okay, and then we also have here the 13th month pay and de minimis. So I don't have any 13th month pay yet for the month of January. It's 0, but I have de minimis. So I will put this de minimis in the item 18, that is 54,592.56. 54, oops, 0. 54,592 point, no, ulit yun. 56. 56. Okay. And we also have SS, GSIS, PhilHealth, and HDMF or Pag-ibig. So I have here, saan ba yun? Okay, ito. Total mandatory contributions, item 19, is 53,184.58. 53,184.58. Okay. Then let us compare total non-taxable compensation, the sum of items 15 to 20. So my total non-taxable compensation based on this form is 469,553.21. Let's see. Okay. See, it's the same. 469,553.21. Okay? So it's actually the same. Now I have to deduct. Okay, so item 22, it is total taxable compensation after we have deducted the non-taxable portion from the total compensation. So that is item 14 less item 21. Okay? So item 22, we have 686,202.15. Now let us deduct the under item 23, the taxable compensation not subject to withholding taxes. So ano ba yung item 23? As I have said kanina, when you have employees, when you have minimum wage earners, any payments given to them will be non-taxable, and that will be deducted under item 15, okay? And when you pay overtime pay, night shift, holiday, and hazard pay to them, to the MWEs, it will also be deducted from the total compensation. Okay, so because basically the minimum wage earner, the minimum wage in the item 15 only composed the basic pay given to them, the minimum wage, but the add-ons, the additional compensations you give to them because of the holiday, overtime, night shift is not part of that. So you have to deduct that, okay? And by the way, you don't have to add the contributions of the minimum wage earners here in item 19 because the entire minimum wage of the minimum wage earners are already deducted under item 15. So it is useless to add their contributions here in item 19. Okay? Another is that from your employees who are not minimum wage earners, either they could be subject to tax or not. Okay? As I have said, there are non-minimum wage earners but are still exempted from the tax because their monthly salary or compensation level does not reach or does not breach the 20,833 pesos. Because when the monthly compensation is just 20,833, it means that the employee is still non-taxable because his annual compensation income will never exceed or will not exceed the 250,000 pesos, the exemption limit. Okay, so that is why we need to determine which of our employees who are non-MWEs but whose compensation income per month does not exceed 20,833 or whose annual compensation income does not exceed 250,000 pesos, and we will deduct that here in item 23. So, as I have said, I have this 686 202.15. This is the entire amount given to our employees who are non-MWEs. But not all of them, not of those non-MWEs are subject to income tax. In fact, I have here in this column, taxable compensation but not subject to withholding taxes because they don't reach the minimum compensation level. Let's see, okay? If you notice, all of them are below 20,830. See, this one, this item, this employee number 41, see, her monthly compensation income does not reach the 20,833 minimum compensation level. That is why she is not subject to withholding tax. Okay? But I have here an employee who actually reaches or who actually go beyond the 20,833 pesos minimum compensation level. That is why he will be subject to tax. Okay? So, yeah, that's it. So, I will put this 657,652.52. 657,652.52. Am I right? Okay. 657,652.15 rather. 0.15. Okay. And our item 24, which is the net taxable compensation income, is now only 28,550. This actually comes only from one employee. Okay. So, here. Okay. 20. Can you see that in your screen? Okay. So, yun. And then, its withholding tax is 1,543.40. Again, this template already computes automatically the withholding taxes for the employees. So, if you have 2 or more employees who are actually subject to withholding taxes, then this will also compute automatically. Even if you will have to reconcile this is actually the correct amount if you have to manually compute the withholding tax for this amount. Okay? So that is 1543.40. So in item 25, the total tax withheld. So 1543.40. Am I right? 1540.40. Okay. So, kumbaga, ito na yung tax na withheld natin from our employees, from our employee rather, one employee only, who is earning 28,550 per month or this month of January. And this is the same amount that we need to pay to the BIR. Okay? So, that's it. Okay? So, you will have total amount still due. Actually, if I will have to submit this, may penalty. Kasi nga, this is for the month of January and today is March 29. So, it's 2 months late already. But, I have already filed this last February. So, I don't need to file this to submit this to BIR. So, what you're going to do here is after you have filled up the form, you will click save and then validate. Okay? Click save, then validate. Now I don't have to do that because this is already filed last February 10, I think, 2021. So I am done with this. So there's no need for me to save and validate. Although in your case, you have to save and validate this. After you validated this form, the next step is to click submit final copy, because that will automatically submit this form to BIR e-submissions. So that's it. Okay, so by the way, if you want to have a copy of my template of this form, I have actually a template for this. If you want to have this copy for your own consumption, please send me a message or comment down below. Comment in the comment section you want this, say want or mine or anything that you want to comment, or email me or message me on Facebook or Messenger rather, and I will send this file to you for free. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have learned a lot from this video. Bye!